Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the worst fucking podcast you've ever heard. Both mics.
Alright. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Both Mics. Slowly pulling us up here on the video here, so just...
Yeah, we're here.
I'm here. You're here.
Yeah. So, welcome to Both Mics, everyone. This is a show about nothing and everything. That over there is Mike Sofka.
And that over there is Mike Taylor, and together we are Both Mics.
Welcome to show number 85 of Both Mics. Heard everywhere podcasts can be heard.
85, dude.
85. Yeah. Imagine that. Everybody's wondering why 85 is such a big deal for us. Well,
we're 85 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Get off my lawn. We actually both graduated high school in 1985, and it was the heart of the 80s and the 80s movement and the craziness and debauchery and decadence of the 1980s. The only thing I can really compare it to is like the 60s. You know, I guess our parents had the 60s and maybe late 50s but we lived in the middle of the 80s, and everybody always wishes they lived through the 80s as a teenager like we did. I think it was the best time that you possibly could have lived as a teenager. It was the 80s, because it was all downhill from there.
Well, I mean, we have our own memories to fall back on, but there's some people who may have done better or wanted more in the 60s, or maybe everyone's generation's the best, and the younger generation doesn't ever know what the hell they're doing, and they're ruining everything. And you go back, there's even a generation called the Greatest Generation, those who the people that were old enough to serve in World War II and or Korea as well. So I mean, it's just, I think it is what it is. You'll never like your kids' music. Well, no, we raised our kids right, so yes, I like their music. But what I'm saying is there's a certain generational gap for everything, and I think we're just biased on the 80s. I get it, though.
Well, yeah. No, it's biased, but I have yet to hear anybody talk about the 90s like they do about the 80s.
Well, yeah, it's because all the people from the 80s started to realize that we had to really fucking work. And so in the 90s, that's what we did. We worked.
Right.
That guy 90s kind of flew by, dude. I mean, it really did.
Yeah, that's true.
And all you did was show up, punch in, punch out, go home. That's what you did, right?
Yep.
Same here, dude. I get it.
Shampoo, rinse, repeat. Yep.
So, what do you remember most about the 85? I don't want to just say 80s because that's too broad. 85.
Right,
We're going to try to stay on 85.
This show is about 85 and 1985.
So what's your memories of 1985?
All right. Well, like I mentioned on the last show, that my bedroom was in the basement of our house in Park Ridge, New Jersey. And I was basically not allowed, but I can go in and out whenever I wanted with whoever I wanted. At one point in the 80s, I took all the stuff that my parents collected and pushed it to one side of the basement.
Perfect.
Put up a wall.
Yeah.
And a door. I found the door somewhere, and I made a door, and found a carpet somewhere. Put the carpet down. In shop class, I made a bar in shop class, and that was down there. And found some mattresses and an old refrigerator. And
yeah, your own place, dude. Yeah.
We had a party room, So my room was in the basement, and then next to that was this area that I created, and it was a party room.
Yeah.
And all my friends would show up on Friday night, and we would go get a beer ball from the liquor store in New York, which was just 4 miles away. And our one friend who was 19 bought beer in New York and brought it back, and we basically hung out there on and off until Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, and most of the time my dad would end up making pancakes for everybody on Sunday morning. And it was just all, everybody. It was probably 5 to 10 people every weekend staying at my house.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same setup I had before. we left New Jersey, but I wasn't old enough to appreciate it. I was like 13 or so, 1979, and I remember I had the same setup, and we had a basement, and there was a basement area that you could keep like tools from the. It was like a tool basement or whatever. It was a little cut off. They had cabinets in there, and that door shut.
The workshop.
Yeah, and that door shut, and then it was all paneled. It was carpeted. It was all finished. It was like our own living room. Then we had a giant kitchen / dining room area. The whole thing was carpeted, insulated, and all done. We had appliances, kitchen stuff in there, and everything. It was almost like we could have rented it out. It had its own entrance and everything. We could have rented it out as an apartment for all intents and purposes.
Mine was
going to be mine.
More white trash.
You had what I wanted. You had what I was building.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
yes,
ours
was
was a little more white trash. It was makeshift. It was done, by a 15-year-old kid in the mid-'80s, and it served its purpose. There's a lot of memories down there.
Yeah,
I had a record player, I had a boombox, and we were good to go.
Wow.
Had our beer.
Is that home, or is that home still in your family, or no?
Now my grandfather actually built that house in 1951.
Wow.
And my parents sold it in 2004. For almost $500,000.
Jesus.
And moved to Florida, paid cash for a house.
Good.
Yeah. And my grandfather built the whole thing himself.
That's awesome.
He had minimal help, and cost him $3,500 to build.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
back in 1951.
All right, so we're talking about 1985. If you're watching us on twitch.tv/both mics, or however you're watching us, thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
1985, first thing I think of is the clothes. When everybody, when you think of 50s, you think of a certain look. When you think of 60s or 70s, well, 60s, I guess, more hippie, 70s maybe more disco. So 80s, mid 80s. What are you thinking? What are you looking at, fashion-wise?
Unfortunately, I think of like neon shirts, like. Everybody had like neon shirts on, like bright green, and they, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, or Frankie Says, or some stupid crap like that. Some kind of message, but always those bright color shirts. That's what I think of.
I got a picture up there if you're watching on twitch.tv/both mics, or YouTube, or wherever. If you're listening, you come on over and watch a video sometime. Check out the pictures here. But there's a picture. It's got like 6 different photos in one, and one of them's Michael Jackson, of course, with the one glove. One of them's Jane Fonda looking girl with leg things on. She's in the right position, though. Diana, Princess Diana, with the shoulder pads. Women wore those foam-like shoulder pads. Then Madonna, bunch of chicks dressed like Madonna. Do you remember that?
Actually dated a girl who dressed like Madonna. Went to my senior prom with a girl that dressed like Madonna.
Different one? There were 2 different ones?
No, same girl. Okay. Tammy Kabetsky. She moved to Park Ridge from Queens, New York. She was Russian. Very bizarre girl, and went to Queens with her a couple times, and went to parties out there. Very, very bizarre.
Where is she now? Girl. What does she do now? Where is she?
I have not a clue. The night of my prom, we went to my prom, and got back to my buddy's house. We had a limo, and then I got in my car, my 68 Mustang, and drove her home and broke up with her. Yeah, right. Broke up with her. And then the next day, in New Jersey, the next day after the prom, you go to the shore. You go down the Jersey Shore. Yes. You hang out at the beach.
Yes.
And I went with my ex-girlfriend. So that was the plan. Break up with the girlfriend, go out with the ex-girlfriend the next day.
Well, some of the fashion trends in 1985, according to the interwebs: shoulder pads, we mentioned, mini skirts, leg warmers, huge earrings. Did you wear an earring, Mike?
I did wear an earring, yes.
Which side was it on?
It was on the left side.
Yes.
The right side. Right is wrong. That's the way I remember.
All right. Well, if you're listening to us, we're not saying you're wrong if you wear one in the right. I'm just saying that wasn't right for me at the time.
Exactly.
Or ever.
I was sitting at at my friend John's kitchen table, and they had an ashtray, and they had a feather earring. Remember the feather earrings?
Yes.
Yes. There was one of those in the ashtray. So I grabbed it, and I just poked it through my ear.
Wow.
And no ice, no numbing, none of that pussy stuff.
A lot of blood?
No blood.
Were you
Your ears
drunk?
don't bleed, do they?
Were you drunk?
No. No.
Right.
Not drunk, not high.
So what emboldened you to do this? What said, I think I'll stick this needle in my ear? Boom. How do you
I
go
wish it
from
was a
not
needle.
doing
It
that?
wasn't even a needle, and it popped when I went through. And
Yeah.
just because, shock value. I was big for shock value back then.
How about fingerless gloves? You like the weight lifter look or the tough guy look with the
Yeah, no,
fingerless gloves? No.
never had them. I had friends who had them.
Parachute pants.
I did have two pair of parachute pants.
Yeah, I had some
Yep.
parachute pants. They zipped. You had zippers just about everywhere too. On
Yeah,
parachute
yeah, they
pants.
were like the futuristic version of cargo pants.
Yes. Members only jackets. Did you have a members only jacket?
I had a Sarucci jacket.
I don't know.
It was even cooler. It was like silver or gray, and it was kind of like a brushed satin.
Huh.
And my sister had a black one. All these clothes, by the way,
Yeah.
were bought at the flea market
Oh yeah. Oh
in the 80s. The flea market in Spring Valley, New York.
yeah. How about? Do you remember in 1985 they discovered the Titanic? They found
Wow.
the Titanic in 1985.
Wow. Yeah, that I did not know. I know. Obviously, they found it, but I didn't know it was 1985.
It stemmed from a United States Navy investigation. It was a secret United States Navy investigation of 2 wrecked nuclear submarines, according to the oceanographer who found the ocean liner. And of course, I cut off his name, so he's not important, I guess.
Apparently,
Good job. Way to go, Mike.
yeah, I had no idea.
All right, so what do you think the big movies were?
Wow.
Any ideas?
Okay. I'm just, like, off the bat, I'm thinking like St. Elmo's Fire and like those Brat Pack type movies.
I think that's a
Pretty
little
in Pink.
after that.
Pretty in Pink. No, it was not after. I know it was.
Was it
in high
84
school.
maybe? Maybe it was before. Yeah, maybe it was before. Because I know like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think, was 84.
No, Ferris
85?
Bueller's Day Off was 86.
86. Wow.
Yeah, I know for a fact. 86, summer of 86. The big one in 1985. I'm embarrassed that I didn't think of this right off the bat. Back to the Future.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah, it just dawned on me that Back to the Future came out in 1985.
Well,
I
according
saw
to
that at the Dollar movie theater with my current wife in Austin, Texas, on Ben White Boulevard. There was like a second run movie theater for like
Yeah.
$1.50 movie,
yeah.
and we saw Back to the Future there. The place was packed.
Wow.
Yeah. It was maybe no. The Lost Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I think that was before 1985, though.
All right. Well, according to Box Office Mojo,
Yeah.
the big movies in 1985. Number 1,
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Okay. Cool.
Number 2, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. Yeah.
The Color Purple.
Oh Lord.
Out of Africa at number 5. Cocoon
Same
at number
movie.
6.
Wow.
Jewel of the Nile at number 7.
Wow.
Witness at number 8. The Goonies at number
Oh,
9.
God.
And number 10, Spies Like Us.
Those Spies Like Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
saw
think?
that.
What do you think the most popular TV shows were back in 1985?
The Cosby Show.
Cosby
Alf?
Show's number 1. Yeah, no, that's a good pick.
Alf.
Alf not in there, not in the top
No.
10 according to
I think
Box
that
Office
might
Mojo.
that might be a little after that. I want to say Three's Company, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. No.
No, I get it. That none of these are ringing up. No, you're. I think you're too much near the 70s to early 80s as opposed to 85.
Yeah, they were popular, but I think they were on the downside by then.
All right, I'll go 10 through 1 here. I'll go
Yeah,
10.
I didn't watch TV much.
I'll give you a hint on each one. You got to give me the show, all right?
All right,
Angela.
Who's the boss?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Number 9 was two dudes dressed in pastel jackets.
Oh God, Miami Vice.
Yes, yes,
Dude.
yes.
Shout out to my college roommate Steve. You've met Steve
Yes,
before.
yes.
Became a cop in Austin.
Yeah.
He was a criminal justice major, and every Friday night we could not go out and go drinking until Miami Vice was over. I told him to TiVo it, but he wouldn't do it. Yeah, we couldn't go downtown to 6th Street in Austin until
Nice.
after Miami Vice.
Nice.
Pain in the ass.
Number-
And he had the white blazer and everything. He thought he was the
Oh,
shit.
yeah? Did it?
Yep.
Turned up collar.
Yep.
So,
All that.
Buddy. So we just lost a member. This is number 8 coming in here. We just lost a woman who was on this show.
Golden Girls?
Yes, yes, the Golden Girls.
The
Number
Golden
8.
Girls were on in 85?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was watching something. Oh, I was watching Everybody Hates Raymond the other day. And I'm like, I wonder when this show came out. You know, you can hit like information
It's
on
in
your
the
button.
90s, right?
It was that particular show was 1999. I'm like,
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that long ago.
right.
But whatever.
So these
Get off
next
my lawn.
these next 2 shows are like evening soap operas. 7 and 6, both of them are the same type show,
Oh.
basically.
Like Dynasty
There's one of them.
and the spin-off from Dallas. Or
Well,
was it
Dallas. They gave me Dallas here, so yeah, we'll go with Dallas. Nice, nice. And then where's everybody know your name?
Oh, Cheers.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that
number
was
5.
Dude,
Number 5.
wow, really? Blowing my mind here.
Thank you. My intern just brought me some tea. Very
Some
nice
tea?
So yes, yes.
I have my Yeti.
All right. You couldn't watch this show any faster than the show's title. It took every bit of the show's title to watch it.
The Flash?
I couldn't watch it in 30 minutes and I couldn't watch it in an hour and a half. It had to be at a specific time.
Oh, 60 minutes?
There you go. Yes, 60 minutes,
Really?
number 4. And the next one's too hard, I think, so I'm just going to give it to us. Murder, She Wrote, number 3.
Oh, wow.
Murder, She Wrote. Number 2,
Yeah.
Parkinson's Man was in this show.
Obviously, you're talking about Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
It wasn't Spin City, was it?
Family Ties.
Oh, Family Ties. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And we said
I
before
forgot about that.
the Cosby Show.
Yes.
I did just get the text from our special guest. If you're watching
Uh-oh.
us live on twitch.tv/both mics, we will have a special guest this evening. He will be here shortly. They're en route. So at any time now, I'll let you know. And you're going to have to run the show while I run because after the last incident with Mike Stradamus, the intern doesn't answer the door alone. So I got to go take care of this. But I'm just doing what our lawyer says. So
Cool.
hang on a second.
Cool,
here.
cool.
Let me see. Yeah. No, I'm excited about our special guest tonight. Okay, who was the president then?
It was Ronald Reagan.
That's right. He took the oath for his second term as the 40th president on January 20th. Who won the Super Bowl that year?
Kansas City.
No.
Well, in the mid 80s, it would probably have to be the 49ers.
Yes. That is absolutely
Yeah.
correct. You're a genius. Kansas City did
Yeah.
win the World Series, though. So you're on.
Okay.
And, of course, the Lakers won the NBA championship. And Edmonton, with your boy Gretzky, probably won the Stanley Cup.
Cool.
So what do you remember most about 1985 as far as school, besides not going?
I'll never forget my last day of school, walking through the hall, and a friend of mine was carrying a baby raccoon through the hallway. and I was able to pick up and hold this cool little baby raccoon. It was like beyond cool. That was my last day. And then I walked up the stairs, I walked outside, and one of the English teachers came by and says, "Hey, Mike, you got to come back and tell me." I'm like, "Okay, tell you what. If blondes have more fun."
Wow.
Because about 2 weeks previous was our I graduated high school on the 23rd of June, and on the 13th of June was our prom. A lot of places, especially down here in Florida, do it like in March, but we always had our prom, junior senior prom, just before the end of school.
It's too damn hot past March in Florida for a prom. Dudes wearing jackets? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, the day of my prom, my buddy Gene and my buddy Howard come over to the house and dye my hair platinum blonde, or at least try to, and it came out kind of strawberry blonde. So I went to my prom that night in tux, tails, silver, the whole 9 yards, with my Madonna girlfriend, and I had bleach blonde hair, or
Nice.
kind of strawberry color hair. So he wanted to know if blondes had more fun, and that was his thought process, because I went through my whole life with brown hair until that day.
All right. Do you have another story as boring as that one that you could tell while I go get the door here?
Boring as boring as that one?
Our guest is here. I got to go let him in.
God, just the fact that we used to like run the school.
All right. I'll be right back. Yeah. Fill time.
Our lockers in the school. Our school was built in like 1906, and we used to take the lockers that were bolted to the wall, and we would literally pull them away from the wall, off their mounts, and slide them in front of classroom doors, where people couldn't get out of the door because there was lockers in front of the doors. But God, 1985. Probably the craziest story I could think of is when we were at Giant Stadium. We were trying to get tickets for Kiss, and we went to the wrong place. We actually went to the Brendan Byrne Arena, where you're not supposed to go for tickets overnight, and you're supposed to go to the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey. And going to Giant Stadium, pulling in the parking lot, we were the only ones there. So we were, it was like a huge playground for us. And I wanted to go climb this radio antenna that was probably 250 feet tall, right by the New Jersey Turnpike. And my next door neighbor, Rich, was like, "No, don't, we're not going to do it." He goes, "Look, there's a sign right there that says high voltage, and we shouldn't do that." I'm like, "Okay, high voltage is in that room over there. That room has the high voltage sign on it. It's not the antenna. It's just a metal antenna. Why would we have to worry about high voltage?" So we climb over 2 barbed wire fences, and I decided to climb up on this one particular platform. I climb up there, and I go to reach to stabilize myself, because I've been smoking and drinking and not in my proper frame of mind. And as I get about 2 inches from touching this antenna by a bolt, the electricity arcs from the bolt to my hand and burns my hand and scares the living daylights out of me. It scared me more than it hurt me. And God. So, of course, my friend Rich completely freaks out, screams and hollers and yells at me that we shouldn't have come here. And I got down, and we climbed back over the fences. What? And I had burns on my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't need medical treatment, but they hurt nonetheless. So I think our guest is showing up. Is he there? Oh my God!
Yeah, I'm here.
Is that here. Tommy Chong?
How we doing?
Good. The camera's over here, Tom. Behind you. Turn around.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. How are you?
Anyway, I thought the guys from Duck Dynasty were here.
Yeah, it's funny stuff.
Are you smoking out of a paper towel roll? Take smaller hits, Tom. Tom, smaller hits.
Anyway.
So,
what are we
welcome
doing?
to both mics.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to Both Mics, Tom. So what have you been up to, Tom? Tommy Chong?
Well, besides my glass blowing business, and let me tell you, my lips get burned up from fucking blowing all that glass. So, I gotta wear chapstick and shit. You can't just blow glass. You gotta, your mouth gets hot.
Yeah. So it's amazing, Tommy Chong. Are you friends with Santa Claus? You guys sound awful lot alike.
Wow, I didn't think of that.
You're looking good, though.
I'm in trouble.
You're looking good, sir. How you doing? Are you still doing the CBDs? Are you still promoting CBD oil?
No, I like the good old smoke here. I like, nature's own stuff. And that's why I got my glass blowing business. And, the feds gave me some trouble for importing illegal water pipes over state lines. And it was a federal case. And anyway. Yeah, no, we're getting up there in age. Thank God I smoked a lot of weed back in the day, because a recent study shows that cannabis actually prevents you from getting COVID. So I'm totally safe.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
That's a true story.
All right.
I'm drinking this guy's hot tea. I thought it was here for me. Tastes like shit. This is me. This is me over here. Yeah. Yeah, bringing them brownies over here. Yeah. The brownies. Yeah, I want to eat some of them. Yeah, I know what they got in them.
Right.
Wow, man. This seat is way up high. You feel like you're way up high?
The seat's high? You sure it's the seat?
I swear to thought.
So Tommy, we're
So when do we start?
Show.
You're gonna give me a cue or something?
Yeah. Boom, cue. We're live, Tom.
Okay.
We've been live.
All right.
So we're having a show. This is our episode 85 of Both Mics. We're heard across the globe on twitch.tv/Both Mics, YouTube, anywhere you can find a podcast or a live stream, you'll find Both Mics. We're talking today about 1985. Do you remember anything from 1985?
Hell, I don't remember how I fucking got here. 1985, me and Cheech were hot. We were big.
Yeah, you guys were big. I remember the first time I was introduced to Cheech and Chong, as you guys were so-called back in the day. First time I ever even heard of you was, I think I was in 8th grade. So we're talking probably 1981. And I turned on HBO late at night, and I saw a guy in a dress hitchhiking in this movie. And it was you. It was you hitchhiking in a dress, and Cheech Marin picks you up, and the movie was Up in Smoke. And I'll never forget that movie and how much I laughed till I cried watching that movie back in the early 80s. So I think by the time 1985 came along, you were on to bigger and better things. I know you had another movie, something Dreams. What was it? Nice Dreams.
Nice Dreams.
Yeah,
yes.
Nice Dreams. And that's the only other two the two movies I remember of y'all's. So what have you been doing since then?
Well, like I said, I got that glass blowing thing. I've loaned my name out to some weed manufacturers, so but not just anyone. I got to sign off on it, so they send me lots of free products, so that works out. Because in a lot of hold on, is something itching? Is it gone? Sorry, a little kickback on that powder. Anyway, all right, we're good. What were we saying?
I have no idea. What you've been up to since 1985?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Well, what have you been doing in 1985? Are you still there?
I'm still living in 1985. That is correct. My clothes haven't changed. My beard, my appearance, my glasses, the weed I smoke is all from 1985. Everything, I am stuck in 1985.
Good to hear.
You look like you're stuck in 1985, except you look older.
What are you talking about? if it was 1985, I'd have a little more hair than this. I'd actually have a lot more hair than that.
Well, there's a couple mobile applications I'm involved with. I want to go ahead and give you those. You can Cheech and Chong's The Fatty. You can play that. Or you can play Bud Farm. Cheech and Chong's Bud Farm. So yeah, I'm not...
Interesting.
I know my voice sounds really rough. It's the difference in humidity. I'm visiting in Florida here, so a little bit different. That's why I take bigger hits here. I can get away with that. There's more moisture in the air. See, if you try that in a more arid climate, you know, everybody who smokes know that when you try to take that big inhale in that situation, you're going to cough. Now, I know some people say you got to cough to get off. I get it. But I don't like to cough. I don't want to cough. So
yeah, no, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all.
Wow, we're hitting it out of the park with this.
Yeah. Let me see here.
It's a good thing we rehearsed this.
So you're 83 years old, Tommy. God.
Yes, I look great, don't I?
I'm amazed. Yeah. So, you haven't been married. How many kids you got? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Amazing, Tommy.
What do you want, my Wikipedia page or something? Come on, man.
I'm on your Wikipedia page.
Come on, man. What kind of weed you smoking nowadays, Mike?
Dandelion.
Dandelion. All right, it must be some sort of new strain or something I'm not familiar with.
Apparently, yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna leave before this train crash hits me here.
All right, Tommy.
Before I hear too many more buttons and clicks, that's people tuning out.
Right.
So, I think because of the voice. I don't have the rhythmic attention to the voice like really Tommy Chong might. Like, I gotta... Yeah. I should have toned it down some.
Yeah.
But we got time to work on it, though. I can work on it.
Right.
All right. I'm going to go get the other asshole back. How's that? I'll be right back.
All right, Tommy Chong. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Let's see. June 10th, 2021, at the Texas Hemp Show, Russell Dowen and Jesse Owens interviewed Tommy about his new hemp brand and how he used cannabis during cancer bouts, future hemp plans, and cannabis activism. The background behind the club only performance of a song called Sergeant Sunshine.
Yeah, get that guy the hell out of here. I don't want him here again. I don't want to see him again.
Right?
Sorry, go ahead. I'm back.
6 children. You're back. Yeah. So, welcome to show 85.
Yeah, let's start this fucking crane trash. Anyway. All right, let me close
Did
this
you say
out.
Crane trash?
Crane trash, yes. Crane trash.
Crane trash.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, all right. Let's get rid of Tommy Chong's Wikipedia page.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So your band, your favorite band, back in the day, Motley Crue, right? That's when they kind of debuted, was 85?
Yep. No, they debuted in 1981, became popular in 83, 84 with the 1983 US Festival in California. And then they went on to be the opening act for Ozzy Osbourne in 83 and 84, also Kiss. So that made them popular. In 1985, they had an album called Theater of Pain that came out first week of July. And I bought that the day it came out. I was able to rustle up enough 5-cent deposit cans to take to New York to buy that cassette.
Nice.
With the proceeds I got from beer cans and bottles from my high school graduation party.
Nice, perfect.
Which was at my house. September 1984, I walk into English class and I go, everybody, I will be having the graduation party and the last day of school, after graduation. and everybody remembered. And they were asking me, through finals and stuff, hey, the party's still at your house. And sure enough,
Good.
I never let my parents know, but I did say that we were going to have a small handful of people come over.
Sure.
We had about 350 people in my backyard. Yeah.
Nice.
So we had enough crushed cans to fill 5 garbage cans to put out to the street for the trash guy.
Wow.
And then I had enough that were whole and not broken bottles to take to the liquor store in New York to get money to buy Theater of Pain the first week in July.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
If you're looking at this on twitch.tv/both mics, you see a picture of Motley Crue in their garb for the Theater of Pain tour. And this picture was actually taken by a friend of mine named Mark Weiss, a guy I know, who I kind of modeled
now
myself
he's going to come
after.
looking for royalties because I'm using his picture. Stop.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're
All right,
friends. Good. And he actually, I kind of I wanted to model myself after him. And my college major was photography, so my plan was to be with him or work for him or be like him until life got in the way and, shit hit the fan. But
There we are.
yeah, there's actually, there's like the top 50 heavy metal rock releases in 1985. God. Do you have a list there of anything, or do you want to go through this list?
No, I do.
You do? All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear what you got there. Maybe I don't have the same thing.
I have the top 50. I don't think we're going to go through 50 of them.
No, just maybe the top 10.
Well, number 50 is actually a real good one. Is Y&T, Down for the Count.
Well, you've
Remember
seen
the song
them on
Summertime?
You've seen them on a Monsters Rock thing, right?
Yeah, they've been on every one. They won't be on this one though. We'll go through the highlights, but yeah, their song "Summertime Girls." Oh, you don't know it?
No,
you don't know "Summertime Girls"?
No, and
wow,
and we can't really play the song behind us either.
No.
So
yeah,
go ahead, sing it, Mike.
No. Aerosmith, "Done with Mirrors," number 41. That was their initial comeback album, and I've seen them in concert in San Antonio, believe it or not, and not real impressed with them back then because that was before Permanent Vacation. So the only songs they had were like "Sweet Emotion" and "Walk This Way," and you had to sit through an hour and a half concert just to hear 2 songs. So be it. Number 40. A good one.
It was such a chore to go to a concert.
Right?
You're such a martyr for sticking around for an hour and a half to hear the 2 songs.
Yeah, well,
in my country, we would love to have opportunity to go see live music, but the people get killed real quick. Come on, Mike. First world problems.
Number 40. Number 40, Night Ranger.
Yes.
7 Wishes.
Yes.
And the one main song that, of course, everybody knows is Sister Christian. Probably my least favorite hit of theirs because it's overplayed or was overplayed. It's a real good one.
And a bonus is if you live in Florida or visit Florida often, they're usually playing at Epcot or SeaWorld or something, and it's a pretty good show. So,
yeah, I saw them at SeaWorld this past year. Of course, my phone locks up. Let's see if I get my phone. No, of course it's not going to work.
I was going to talk about that in our last show here. They're getting ready to switch on all the 5G everywhere. That means the 3G stuff isn't going to work. So hopefully you're on at least 4G, right?
It doesn't say at the top. Usually it says at the top.
What I want to find out is how long you can keep that phone. Will you keep that phone until they come up with the 6G and they cut out the 4G? And then you're screwed because you don't have a 5 or 6G phone. Are you going to be that guy that has to go buy a new one then because they're changing?
I might have to be, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be that guy too.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I lost my page. Trivia. Boom, boom, boom. Random trivia. I lost it, but damn it.
Wow. Well, Theater of Pain's got to be on there.
Yeah, Theater of Pain. I think that was actually like in the top 10.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lard, of course. Yeah, Theater of Pain's on there, of course. Ratt,
Yeah.
Invasion of Your Privacy, where Round and Round came from. Bon Jovi, 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, which which is named that because that's actually the melting point of rock is 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit. And
I like it.
you like that?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, all that. Twisted Sister, their follow up to Stay Hungry was an album called Come Out and Play, and that's when they did the career ending song Leader of the Pack. I don't know if you remember them doing that song, but that graciously ended their career. And she's, I don't know. Let me see. Where did it go? But yeah, a lot of excellent music came out that year. Dokken had an album come out. Scorpions had an album come out. Actually, no, that came out a year earlier. So, what do you have as far as music on your end? Because I lost whatever I was reading. It locked up and
No,
went away.
I see a lot of stuff on here from people I wasn't as familiar with. Like, I'm familiar with them, but they weren't like my favorite bands, like Anthrax and Slayer and Megadeth. And I could listen to that shit. It was a little harder than the other stuff, but
yeah, I'm more on the lighter side of that.
yeah, well, I'm good all the way up and down the spectrum. It's just a lot of these bands, they're finding it hard to tour. They got to get on the boats and shit like that. So I get it. Hey, these people are like my parents' age, So I get it. They're in their 70s and shit. So
Right.
I would hope and pray that I could do that in my 70s if I wanted to. Hey, how many people get that opportunity? Period. So anyway,
I agree.
Anyway, let me look up one other thing here that I want to look at for 1985. Oh, that's the same one. All right, how about Dire Straits? Did you like Dire Straits?
No.
They had that Money for Nothing. Remember that?
Yeah. Did not. Well, because Money for Nothing was a poke at the heavy metal genre of music that was coming out.
The hair
Money
bands.
for Nothing. Yeah, the hair bands. Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free. Was not a real big fan of that.
How about Live Aid? Did you see Live Aid?
I did watch bits and pieces of Live Aid. I remember I was actually working that day.
Yeah,
and,
so was I. I was supposed to be working, but we were all watching it because I worked at a video production place, like a cable place, and we produced the local commercials and stuff. Taped them.
Cool.
Did commercials, did editing and all that shit there. So, yeah. I remember where I was. I was supposed to be working on this project, and I was watching this fucking shit.
Yeah, I was catching bits and pieces. They were actually piping it through the back in the day when stores actually played music.
Yeah.
Uzak and had background music. Well, this was the background music that was playing there. And I remember like Phil Collins was one of the performers, and Hall & Oates.
He took a supersonic jet because he was able to play in two places, like JFK and then at Wembley here for Live Aid. I think that's the way it went. And he took a supersonic, and while he was on the supersonic jet, guess who's on the plane with him? Cher. And Cher didn't know about the Live Aid, like they left her out. And so she ended up tagging along with him, and she ends up being in the video for We Are the World and all that shit. She just muscles her way in.
Nice.
Little trivia there for you. How about some of the newer type bands from that era? Like maybe I say newer, maybe they weren't, but I know they were newer for me. Like a Eurythmics. You never found them fascinating or fun to listen to? I mean, it's a little bit different than what you listen to.
No, I don't like them, but there's a connection between them and Hall & Oates. Believe it or not, before Motley Crue being my favorite band was Hall & Oates. And there's a connection there between the guy in Eurythmics and Daryl Hall. Nothing romantic or anything, but I think they produced each other's albums or something like that. So that's my only recollection of Eurythmics.
How about bands like Talking Heads?
Talking Heads were good. Yeah, they were fun. Like that, and like the Thompson Twins, and that whole weird genre of music. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, like we mentioned earlier. Wham.
It's funny because you know you're old when you hear these songs on the music, like you said before.
Right, in an elevator.
Yeah, or you're in a department store or whatever. If you're still doing that
Yep.
brick and mortar shit, yeah, it's hilarious to me. It makes you feel old the first time it happens to you, and it happened to me for the first time. I think in the early to mid '90s in the restaurant business, I had heard a Kiss song on the radio, and I was like, all right. And they were like, I go, what station's this? And because I was new to that area, and the guy goes, a classic rock station. I was like, what? When did they become classic rock? It was
Exactly.
I thought they were still actively, musicians.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were has-beens already. Shit.
Yeah, the time I realized I was out of touch, not old, just out of touch. It's two different things. Was Green Day at, believe it or not, here in Jacksonville back in 2005. Took the kids there. We saw Green Day on Tuesday, Motley Crue on Wednesday, and then came back to Orlando and saw Bowling for Soup on Thursday.
Went?
No, it was Michael and Jessica, the older two.
I was just
But we're at the Green Day concert, and one of the slower songs comes on.
Yeah.
And typically in 1985, what do you do when the ballad comes on?
You're taking a beer run or piss break or something.
The Home Sweet Home of Motley Crue. What happens then? You break out the lighter, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you break out. Yeah, that's during the drum solo when you take your piss break.
Well, see, during Cheap Trick's playing of the Flame, there's some avid Cheap Trick fans that I've known for years. They just hate the song. They claim the band hates the song, hates playing the song, but they have to play the song because people come to hear the song. And
right.
They supposedly it's like a roll your eyes song, like, oh, here we go, and they muscle through it just because they have to. So I know people that are super fans that they always say, oh, of course, then they played the Flame, so I ran to the bathroom, took a shit, grabbed a pretzel, and I'm like, really? You're at the show. You're not going to, come on, really? You like the band? You don't like that song that much? You refuse to watch it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right, how about a band that was a little more foot forward or progressive forward? Level 42. Did you ever hear them?
Level 42? No.
A song called Something About You.
No clue. It's probably one of those things if you hear it, like, oh yeah, I know the song.
Well, we don't have license for that, so sorry. You're driving off the road if you're listening to this in your car. You're screaming at me right now, I know. How about Tears for Fears? Shout.
Yeah,
that was a big song then, right?
Not a fan. Not a fan at all.
How about Phil Collins?
Not a fan. Not a fan of him. Not a fan of Genesis.
Wow.
Just
okay.
It's one of those. I'll turn the radio off or change the station if I hear him.
John Cougar Mellencamp. There's a song. There's a name at 85.
That's good stuff. Good stuff there.
The Power Station. Some like it hot.
Who's that? That's Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
And then a couple of guys from Duran Duran.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Yep.
How about the Hooters?
The Hooters.
That was a
God.
band. And We Danced was their big song. And We Danced.
Yep.
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Funny thing about these guys, there was a movie that sucked in the movie theater, but made it huge on HBO, and it was called Eddie and the Cruisers. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
No, that was them.
And they did the soundtrack for that movie. And I remember watching the movie and that song on the dark side, on the something side, on some side. And it fit the guy that played the movie so well that when I saw the song performed by the actual band, John Cafferty, Jack Cafferty, and the Beaver Brown Band, I did John Cafferty, who's also a news reporter in New York, by the way, or was. And I didn't believe that he was the actual singer of this song because I saw the guy in the movie sing it so many times that I didn't think he sang it. I thought it was Yeah.
How about Howard Jones?
Yes. Some of the best lyrics ever.
Okay.
We did a student exchange back in 1985, and our little group from Park Ridge went to an area outside of Washington, D.C. And the guy I stayed with was like my complete opposite. Like he was afraid of me. That's like the only way you could put it. You got to figure me with long hair down to my shoulders, and he was a swimmer who had like a crew cut. So like we were oil and water, but we got along okay. And he was a huge Howard Jones fan, and I got to like and learn Howard Jones music through this guy. Kelly was his name, believe it or not.
So what is this? So what does this guy and his husband do?
I have not a clue. It's been 36 years. I haven't even seen him since.
All right.
But one of the best lyrics, I use all the time, especially at work, is from one of their songs, from his song. I forget the name of the song, but the lyric is, "You're the fastest runner, but you're not allowed to win."
Yes, I like that one. Yeah.
Yes.
How about Mr. Mister?
Mr. Mister, yes. Broken Wings. I wish I could sing. I'd sing these songs to you, but yeah.
How about the Motels?
The Motels did not like them at all. Yeah. Nope, them and like Quarter Flash.
Okay, like here's a name that was still going strong at that time. David Bowie.
Oh, wow.
You're a fan or no?
Not a fan of his mid-'80s stuff. His earlier stuff, yeah. But like Let's Dance and China Girl and all that weird, wacky crap, even though everything he did was weird and wacky, I just didn't like that.
How about Hart?
Hart, yeah. Decent.
Yeah, I've seen him too many times already. Like I'm like, oh shit, not these guys again. You know, they're playing with someone else that I'm there to see. You know, and I'm like,
yeah. God,
I wasn't ready for them again. I just saw them. You know, and there's certain bands that I don't have to see every night. You know, I just
right. I actually won tickets on a radio station in San Antonio, and it was perfect because they were playing on Valentine's Day. So I was able to get free tickets and take the missus to go see the San Antonio Rodeo on Valentine's Day and see Hart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
One of those holidays you never know what in the world to get, and the decision was made up for me.
Speaking of Hart, are you familiar with Corey Hart?
Yes. Isn't that the sunglasses at night guy?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loverboy, the Canadian band, Loverboy.
You got to tell the story.
Yeah. I was working at the car dealership there, and Loverboy was making an appearance somewhere local, and one of the radio stations had a promotion going on at the dealership, and you can come by and meet this dude who's the lead singer of Loverboy.
Like something or other.
Yeah, whatever his name was. And so I keep telling my boss, hey, I'm going to go over to that building there where the promo stuff is. I'm going to talk to this guy from Loverboy. And he goes, you know, he was Hispanic. He didn't understand what I was saying. Thought I was telling him my Loverboy was next door. So I had to break that down and explain it right. So I go over there, and I'm not supposed to be over there. And I wait for the crowd, you know, there were a handful of people that were there to, you know, disperse. And I go walking over to him, and I go, hey, how you doing? My name's Mike Sofka. I'm a big fan. And I like that Eye of the Tiger song you guys did for the Rocky movie. That was fabulous. He just looked at me, handed me the photo that he signed for me, and just shook his head. And I just shook my head and laughed.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was funny at the time.
Still funny.
Yeah. We did the same thing with the what's-her-names at the RFC. Me and Ron. The who was it? The guy that was in the Susan Sarandon and her who was the guy that was in God. Susan Sarandon, because they live in Orlando part of the year. Yeah. Hang on, I'm trying to look it up. Tim Robbins. So they come into the RFC one day, and like everybody's roaming around going, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. So the bottom part, the back part was all closed out.
Right.
And they're like, hey, man, we need you to take this table. And they said it to me. And then somebody that I knew was managing that day. I'm not going to say any names, but they said, no, don't let him do it. I've got it worked out. So they had already inside with somebody else. So in comes Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon, and their kids are in these soccer uniforms. And they're sitting down there in front of the elephants. And, there's maybe there are 4 of them, but they're on a circle table.
Right.
So I think Mike K was on duty that day. And I kept teasing him. I was like, hey, man, I know it's against policy and you're not supposed to do it on Disney property. You're not supposed to do it in a restaurant. But I think I'm going to go say hi to Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon. And he goes, don't you dare. And I go, well, I'm not going to ask him for an autograph. I'm just going to say hi and introduce myself. He goes, stay the fuck away from that table. So then Ron or somebody comes over and does the same thing. It's like, hey, we're going to go over there and we're going to introduce ourselves and stuff. So I helped run some of the food. So I got, close contact with them. I was there. But I didn't do it. I didn't have any exchange. So then I saw Mike K coming back to one of the huts, and I go, watch this, and I'm breaking down like I'm real upset. He goes, what's the matter, you all right? And I go, yeah, I think I fucked up. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I went over, and he goes, you didn't. And I said, yeah. And he goes, what happened? I said, I went over and told him that I thought he was good in that movie where he was on the beach with that volleyball. He just looked at me like I had 3 fucking heads, dude. We had him going for a good few minutes to where he was going to go out and apologize to Tim Robbins.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I got to pull the same prank twice, and it was incredibly funny. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. The only famous person I served or was the waiter for at the RFC was Josh Duhamel. It was Transformers. He was in Transformers, but at the time he was on All My Children, so he was like Soap Opera Weekend.
Yeah.
If you saw him, you know who I'm talking about. He's like that famous, but
were you a ZZ Top fan back then in '85?
Yeah, because they had some pretty catchy stuff back then. One of my best friends was a kid named Sam, Italian kid, Napolitano, and I always got a kick out of it because he always thought so highly of himself, and that because everybody loved, or all the girls loved, a guy named Sam instead of a sharp dressed man.
Nice.
It was a guy named Sam. So yeah, he was thought very highly of himself, and yeah.
Nice.
So good stuff. Good stuff.
This show has been an absolute train wreck. I apologize. I had such higher expectations for myself, and I let everybody down. So I'm sorry.
Could have been worse. We could have talked about Madonna for an hour.
Yeah, right. Listen, make sure you catch up with my buddy Gino Losi if you want to go fishing in Florida. Check out my friend Dustin Levine at the Melon Patch Theater in Leesburg. And check out my friend Night Fan Stan at Jet Set Printing in Orlando. We have, we got to go, right now. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Have a Coke and a smile.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.